Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that looks, well, like almost nothing at all. But trust me, we've got a truly fascinating journey ahead. We're going to unpack a starkly minimal piece of source material to reveal the complex, brilliant architecture that is hiding right in plain sight. We are going to take the completely mundane and make it extraordinary by breaking down the literal anatomy of the internet. Our entire universe of source material today, it's just a single document with the title, New Note. That's it, a totally blank slate. Think about how many times a day you quickly open up the Notes app on your phone or your computer just to jot something down before you forget it. It's essentially a digital staging area, a place where we temporarily park information that we deem important enough to save, but maybe we just haven't figured out what to do with it quite yet. And sitting right there inside that otherwise empty note is just this, one single 40-character URL. That is all our source material gives us. Now, we interact with thousands of these links every single year, right? Clicking, copying, pasting, and sending them off without a second thought. But today, we're putting this tiny string of text under the microscope to see what is actually happening inside those 40 characters. So, we're going to dive in and deconstruct this seemingly simple link into its four physical, anatomical parts: the protocol, the domain, the fingerprint, and the breadcrumb. Just like human anatomy, every single piece here serves a highly specific, vital function to keep the organism, in this case our web request, alive and functioning.
All right, part 1, the Secure Transport Layer, or HTTPS.
This little cluster of letters at the very front, that's our gatekeeper. The S is the real MVP here, standing for secure. Basically, this prefix guarantees that whatever data travels between the user who clicks this link and the destination server holding the video will be completely encrypted. Before a single pixel of video is even requested, this part of the link executes a complex digital handshake. It verifies identity and ensures that no one eavesdropping on the network can tamper with the data while it's in transit. It's essentially an armored car securely transporting our request across the chaotic public internet. Moving right along to part 2, the shortened destination. YouTube.b. Now this brilliantly illustrates a genuinely clever domain hack. Instead of using the standard clunky web address that requires all those extra characters like watch/v equals, our source uses the shortened YouTube.b format. This is what's known as a custom URL shortener. By buying the country code top-level domain for Belgium, which is .b, the platform built this branded ultra-compact way to share links. It saves incredibly valuable character space. And if you remember the tight character limits of early Twitter or old-school text messages, you know that was absolutely critical. Every single letter counts.
Next up is part 3, the fingerprint, 2WXATJ1HM.
So if the protocol was our armored car and the domain was the address of the warehouse, this identifier is the exact barcode on a specific box sitting inside that warehouse. Notice how this unique identifier is exactly 11 characters long. That is not an arbitrary number. It is a highly specific mathematical design choice using a base 64 encoding structure. Without getting completely lost in the weeds of computer science, this basically means each of those 11 spots can be one of 64 different characters. You do the math on that, 64 to the power of 11, and you get over 73 quintillion possible unique video combinations. That is enough to guarantee they will never ever run out of unique video IDs.
Taking a closer look at the anatomical breakdown of that 11-character string, you'll see it mixes uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and even special symbols like that hyphen. This combination is exactly what generates that massive mathematical power we just talked about. It ensures this specific piece of media is uniquely fingerprinted across a gigantic global platform. I mean, if you changed just one letter from a lowercase w to an uppercase w, or swapped out that hyphen for something else, it would point you to a completely different video, or maybe even to nothing at all.
Finally, we hit part 4, the tracking parameter, feature equals shared.
This little snippet is basically the caboose of our digital train, but it is carrying totally different cargo. That question mark acts as a separator. It's telling the server, hey, the core address is finished, but here is some extra context for you. This is known as a query parameter. So, the crucial point here is that it acts as a tracking breadcrumb. It doesn't actually change what video you see, but it absolutely changes what the server knows about how you got there in the first place. It's metadata, literally, data about data.
And this specific breadcrumb, it reveals clear, undeniable human intent. It tells us, for a fact, that someone physically clicked a share button to generate this exact URL before they saved it in their new note. They didn't manually type this link out. They didn't copy it from a browser's search bar. They actively engaged with the platform's sharing interface. This single parameter allows data analysts on the other end to categorize traffic and measure exactly how often their internal sharing tools are actually being used. It's just a tiny digital footprint left behind in the sand.
Which brings us to part 5, the unseen video. What lies beyond?
We have now completely dissected all 40 characters provided in our solitary source note, from its secure protocol all the way down to its tracking parameter. And we did it without ever actually seeing the video itself. We've basically analyzed the envelope without reading the letter inside. Looking at it all together now, it's a pretty powerful reminder. Every single day, we casually copy and paste these intricate digital structures into text messages, emails, and blank notes. Yet each one is packing an incredible amount of metadata, complex routing instructions, massive mathematical equations, and direct human intent, all elegantly compressed into just a few dozen characters. It really is an absolute marvel of modern engineering hiding right there in plain text.
But this leaves us with one final, tantalizing mystery. We know exactly how this link works. We know how it was generated. We even know that someone found it important enough to actively click share and save it to a brand new note. But what intent actually compelled the creation of this specific note? Was it a favorite song, a documentary, maybe a tutorial they really needed to remember? What unseen world is actually waiting on the other side of that 11-character fingerprint? Well, that is the true beauty of the internet. Behind every single string of code, there is a human story waiting to be played.